Hello everyone, and welcome back to some new Prismata. We are on a 3-game win streak, which is nice, but transient and temporary, unlikely to last. We have a golden ticket that we got from the last run, so I'll just use it, and we'll get in the match. In the meantime, let's see what is on the TV. I'll actually watch this 60-second game rather than the 30-second, even though it's a bit further in. What's going on here? So, like, defense grid is apparently the high econ option here. Interesting that you can actually afford to go for that. There's a lot of, like, kind of rushy units here with, like, Electivore and Redeemer. Lance-Tooth to punish the having too much blue. And like Windsor, is Windsor a rush unit? I don't really know. Certainly that's one way to play it. Wow, okay. Oh, I'm glad I don't have to figure that out. Torikun. Base +8. What do we have here? I don't think you... Well, okay. There's a lot of sort of high econ stuff here, and not really anything to stop you from going high econ. I don't know if you want wild drones, because they're gonna look pretty dumb with the defense grid that you're gonna want to get up, I think. What if I did, like, just build one to let me get out a third engineer right away, and then go with a bunch of drones? Because, like, if you can get a defense grid and put behind it, like, probably Asteres. I mean, Lucina also would be great, but Asteres come with plexos and barriers, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I think we clearly go high econ here. And I just don't want that many wild drones because... Okay, 4 engineers. Because I don't want them to be easily sniped after you get up a bunch of defense. I could cut 2 of these, build a wild drone and a conduit. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, so by building this many wild drones, I feel like he's sort of taken defense grid off the table for himself, but I'm not sure. I think I can get, like, just sort of build up economy and head towards blue, and then when I happen to get my 4th green, it'll be a good time to put down a Seri cannon, and I won't have to worry about him absorbing it because of all these wild drones. But okay, he's just going to continue droning, like, a lot. That's exciting. No. Taking a break to Blast Forge. Very well. Should I get an Animus instead of a Blast Forge? I'm spending $9 next turn on drones, and I can get an Animus to go with all that. Tarsier Rhino does a good job of, like, taking out his wild drones. And he's built a Blast Forge, so... Yeah, TT... Well, Tarsier, and then Rhino, of course. You can't build them all in one turn unless you get a mobile Animus, which I don't want to do. So here I could get 2 Tarsiers for 8, $9 of drones. Yeah, that seems fine. I don't know what he's doing with his first blue. Get an Oride Core or something? Or are we going Steel Splitter? No, Oride Core into Lucina. Okay. Well, that's scary, all right. Yeah, oh, that's kind of cute, because then his 4 damage is easily a Wild Drone plus Oride Core, so none of Lucina's damage is being wasted, at least for a little while. Oops, don't force field. I'd sort of like to do this, put down the defense grid next turn when he's going to be done sniping my Wild Drones, is when this will hit. Meanwhile, I can kill his 2 Wild Drones. I don't like that I'm floating a red. I could build another Tarsier instead of, like, doing this. Oops. And I feel like I would then be pretty vulnerable to his Lucina. If I don't get the 2 Blast Forges down now, I won't get them down in time. I think this is fine. Next turn I can build a defense grid and probably 0 Tarsiers because he'll have killed a Wild Drone, which I'm not thrilled about. I'll have only $18, but that's enough. Ah, I see. The second Oride Core was because he'll have a Perforator as well. That's cute. Okay, so he's actually got like plenty of drones. Having built all these Wild Drones is not exactly hurting him. Maybe it is, I don't know. I think this is all we're doing. Can't really do much else. But now he has a bunch of attack that's hitting my defense grid, and I'm able to hit his Wild Drones. So that's where I hope I'm getting my advantage from. I'd like to get a Lucina down, but I don't think that's very realistic. I just have too much tech to spend. I guess I can get a couple Oride Cores. Those are pretty cheap. But even, like, I don't know. I need to get another immediate attacker to continue killing Wild Drones. So it's something like this, right? I could build 2 Oride Cores. I'm only using one of them next turn, but that's still something. And so he's not going to have access to a defense grid anytime soon, I don't think. Well, okay, here it comes. Okay. I guess he has a lot of income, huh? But he's wasting all his red to do this? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, there we go. Oh, you know, I would like to just build the Asteri, but if I do, I'm floating all this tech. I feel like I made a mistake by committing to all this when I wanted to have... So how much attack do I have next turn? I have 5, which is just the 2 Oride Cores. Building more is not really helping me much. So I'm just like over-teched and under-droned because of having lost those Wild Drones, I guess. I guess I can use barriers, right? How much is he actually attacking for? Well, probably like 5, so actually the barrier is not a good idea. he wants to click all these Oride cores and only attack with a couple perforators. So he's got like 5 or 6 less attack than it looks like. I might as well build this, because he's going to have a defense grid pretty soon. Oh, also I have 6 attack, because of the Steel Splitter, right. So this is actually an Oride core that is producing value right away. Huh. I'm not sure why he isn't clicking all the Oride cores. I guess he can't stop me from getting... Whoa. Whoops. Right, he can't stop me from getting defense grid value, I guess. And here, again, he's probably got 3-4 damage less than this, so that's around 11. So a Plexostel is still fine. How much am I doing next turn? 7. I could certainly knock that down into Oride cores. Like, exploit him a little bit with 4 Oride cores, but not if I'm building Steel Splitters, so... Because now we're actually doing 5-9 damage next turn. Knocking it down to 5 is not really taking away much value from him. But it's something. Okay. Alright, so I'm absorbing a total of 10 damage. Is there some way he can do less than 10 usefully? Not really. I think we're getting value here. But I certainly feel behind this game. I think that his Lucina, once again, like, I just don't understand how to play well with this unit. He did well to coordinate it with an Oride core and take advantage of my wild drones. I guess I have a lot more green than he does is an advantage. I'm not using it for Asteres, but Plexocells are really good too. So he's attacking for 7 here, but, like, he's not actually denying the absorb. Like, these perforators... Oh, actually, I forgot, yeah. He doesn't want to attack with perforators because he wants to build Tarsiers. So I probably should have just built, like, a barrier or something here. I did get pretty bad value this turn. By building that Plexo. Something a little bit more flexible, like even a force field might have been okay. But, I don't know, I needed that much defense to stop him from threatening to kill my defense grid, which would have been pretty disastrous. Oh boy. 10, 13... 17 damage is absolutely... Oh my god, this is awful. I don't... What is my advantage here? I'm up 5 drones. But I'm down in, like, every... I have a lot more green, I guess. $10, 16, though, is, like, inflexible. He could exploit that by not... Well, actually, what's he going to do with his red? Build rhinos? I think he kind of wants to attack with the perforators anyway. $14. 14 damage is what? If he can get below 14, he's exploiting this. He has 10, 13, 17. 4 of these is 13. So if he attacks with none of this, I'm getting exploited, but I don't think it's real. Like, as I said, he doesn't want to not attack with the perforators anymore. I could use another conduit because I am in really bad shape in terms of everything, I guess, would be the short way of putting it. But like I'm rapidly running through my green reserves, and it's no longer the case that I have more green than he does. This is terrible. I'm just a million times dead here. Okay. So I think that this Asteri was like an instance of me, again, not really thinking about how many drones I plan to have for the units that I'm getting. Right? If I'm committing to 3 blue, like, that's spending around $18 per turn on steel splitters, or like 15 on walls or something, and maybe once or twice you can spend a bit less and get an Oride core, but not very often. When am I ever going to have time to put down an Asteri without wasting blue in that universe? These two seem like they synergize because they both want high econ, but you can't get an econ high enough for both of them, it seems to me. Unless you build one of them, unless you build like the Asteri before you have all the blue. Which is sort of what my opponent did with the Lucina, right? He said, okay, this is a unit that wants high econ, but you can't really build it after the defense grid because you won't have enough money. If you build it before the defense grid, you can use Lucina to tech back down out of red so that you're not wasting red when you build all this blue. He also found the synergy of Lucina and Oride core against wild drones, so that her attack is actually productive right away. So I think the early Lucina was a really big deal that, once again, as always, I failed to see coming. And like I said, my conduit was really like, yes, green is good in this set, but I got it for sort of the wrong reasons. I might also have built too few wild drones. I don't know. He punished the ones I had pretty bad. Would more have really helped the problem? It doesn't feel like it. And I was never really in a position to get a Lucina after like not getting one early enough. I got the defense grid down just when Lucina was like gonna be sort of wasting attack against it, but you know, he had all these Oride cores. It was just pretty dreadful. I don't know. My opponent, I think, found a much better plan and executed it better. And I had like not really planned my economy size well at all. I'm way over-teched here. My opponent has, you know, so I have 3 blue and 2 red. That's a total of 5. He has 1 blue and 4 red. That's a total of 5. But it's way easier and cheaper to spend red, especially when you have Lucina. So he's actually at a reasonable economy size, despite having fewer drones and the same amount of tech. His is just way easier to use, and mine is, I'm a mess here. Okay, so I don't need to find any like small tactical mistakes when that game was so rife with strategic mistakes. One of these days I'll figure out Lucina, but it's probably not going to be today. It's such a humongous commitment, and I don't know when you can exactly get it. So these guys are playing in event mode, by the way, which is going on for the next like 5 minutes. They have, I guess every day there's an event where you can play in some special game mode for a little while. And in this one, the the idea seems to be whenever you spend a tech resource, it also does something interesting. Like when you spend a green, it also builds a barrier. And so like Zatron says, when bought, construct 5 barriers. When you spend blue, you get a pixie. When you spend red, you get a nitrocide. And it's for each one that you spend. So like Manticore gives you 2 pixies and so on. Oh, it's Torikun again. Alright, well, feel free to smash me again. I think that's who we played, right? Yeah. Green is pretty important here, and as player 2, I sort of like that. I think red-green is where I want to start, and I might someday get some blue for Doomed Walls, but I'd rather go Feral Wardens than Tesla Coils, I think. And it's always easy to spend your blue on Pixie at least, so like it won't be a disaster to pick one up. Probably. But, you know, Feral Warden games tend to be pretty low econ, so you just might not. I don't know. There's Nitrocide to spend your red cheaply and Immolite. Like, it's pretty cheap to spend all tech in this game. I'll be interested to see what he does here. This seems like a much more natural player 2 set than player 1, and so he's gonna have to find something interesting. Okay, just go red first. Fine. That lets him get out the first red attackers. That's cool. I expect something like Tarsier Immolite from him this turn to make it awkward for me to decide between Feral Warden and not getting one. But I'll just respond with like Rhino, Tarsier myself. Just let the green build up. Of course, then he'll hold his Immolite. Okay, it's a Nitrocide. So he's not making me decide whether to get a Feral Warden or not. He's just telling me I shouldn't get one. Fine. I don't mind that too much. I could get a Blast Forge here. Which... Is it good? Actually, should I get... I think I should get one Immolite here. Make it hard for him to decide whether to get a prompt blocker or not. Centrifuge. I don't think it's a good idea. Like, you could spend all the blue and the red very cheaply if you wanted. But I don't think you should do that. Suppose that I did get a Blast Forge. I'm on 12 drones. How am I spending all this tech every turn? Certainly it's possible. Like, you know, Doomed Wall, Tarsier, Nitrocide is one way, for example. Or like Wall, Feral Warden, Pixie. There's lots of options. Or Wall, Feral Warden, Immolite, I guess. I think access to blue is going to be really nice. I can threaten like Teslas if I want, even. Get like Tesla plus, I don't know, probably not right away, but soon after a wall, I could threaten one. This Immolite is probably not going to attack next turn because he'll build a Rhino or something. Well, given that, it kind of like, I don't know. It forces him to build a Rhino, but how sad about that is he really? If he does build a Rhino, my Immolite will be like much worse than a Tarsier. So I think I should just build another Tarsier and not make him decide either. So here I'd like to get a wall. But I don't know. It might be the kind of game where you prefer to get pixies for a little while and block onto Feral Wardens to build up attack until you need walls to defend and can no longer... Or like defend onto wall and then Feral Warden kind of thing. But this way I threaten Tesla as well, which is cool. You know, Tesla double Nitrocide is not looking like a great play because he has a lot of attack coming. But if I could do that on like a later turn. So there's the Feral Warden. He's going to be attacking for 4 next turn, but I can build a Doomed Wall. Okay, probably actually just regular walls, now that I think about it. Shiver Yeti is a pretty big deal to Doomed units in general, especially walls. Well, Doomed Wall and like Plexo Cell, for example, are both really tough to get with... So, like, here's a thought. What if I actually did get that Tesla coil here? Right? My opponent is threatening 3 attack. But he's probably only going to actually attack 2. And indeed, maybe only 1. No, he's going to soak onto the Feral Warden. No, because I'm not attacking this turn, right? So what is this Feral Warden blocking? Nothing. He probably wants to hold it back, and likewise this Nitricide is not real attack, not permanent. So he's really only attacking for 1 and like freezing for 1, right? What if I got this Tesla coil? And said, go ahead, breach me for a drone or 2 if you want. I'll be attacking you for 5 next turn, and then I can go back and start defending. He'll probably build a Feral Warden in response to this. And he is defended even if he clicks all this stuff. So he probably will click it all and breach me for 2 drones. Am I okay with that? It's not great. So I could build a wall instead, and that defends. He just kills an engineer. Or build a Feral Warden first. And get a Pixie. And an Immolite to threaten a bunch of attack in a hurry, I guess. And a couple NGs. This also threatens to attack 5, just like the Tesla coil does, but it doesn't do it as many times. I feel like his first Feral Warden was a mistake. Should have been like just a Tarsier. I don't know. It forced me to build a Feral. It made it harder for me to do something more threatening like Tesla, for example. So maybe it's fine. And it killed an engineer when it attacked, so... Oh, he chose not to attack with it. Fine. Okay. I think I like how this is going. His Shiver Yeti is not really getting much value. I think he built it to like threaten to stop me from getting Doomed Walls. My Pixies are looking sort of stupid. The Blast Forge is like a... I spent $5 and consumed a drone and I got out a Tarsier. Right? It's not great. That's how I've been using it so far. But it has the option to like build a wall eventually. If he ever lets up enough pressure. So he's losing 1 attack here. He has 5 and 1 freeze. So this defends. Build another Immolite to keep the pressure on, and a Pixie, and some NGs. This does defend, right? Yes. Now he's defending with that Feral Warden he built at the beginning, which I guess is convenient for him, but... You don't like... I mean, you don't like having to defend with it. You would rather continue attacking, of course. Okay, so he's losing his access to green now, sort of, right? This makes him lose probably his freeze, so he has 8 attack. Now I think is the time to switch into getting a Doomed Wall. 8 attack and probably no freeze. Or 7 attack and 1 freeze. Either way, we need to defend for 1 more than this. Which I guess we do by force fielding? Is this the right idea, or do I need to build engineers? I think this is right. I have enough green that I can force field for a little while. And I don't see him really being able to get enough Shiver Yetis to freeze Doomed Walls anytime soon. Oh, he lost the Feral Warden. Interesting. I thought he was going to lose the Shiver Yeti. This Rhino should be a Shiver Yeti, shouldn't it? Threaten to kill my Doomed Wall if you can somehow keep both of them alive. Not that I think he can. We can... he's having a tough time defending, and if he doesn't have a drone back, we can exploit him. By like holding the Immolite. That assumes he can figure out a better defense than this one, which it looks like losing the game to me. I don't know if I'll be using my Nitrocide to defend or attack. But this all like, he needs to find a line that works. Right now he doesn't have one. Okay, fine. Hold back 2 drones. So the question is, can he afford to get another Shiver Yeti next turn and click both of his Shiver Yetis? If so, I should build something that, like, I should not count on this Doomed Wall being useful next turn. You know, I could do something like this and block onto the Feral Warden. He only needs to attack for 4 if we play like this, right? But there's no way he can actually hold attack. Well, he can hold the Feral Wardens. But he would be attacking for 5, which is perfect. He could freeze. So if he attacks for 5, we're not even blocking onto the Feral Warden, right? It's only if he attacks for 5 and manages to click the Shiver Yeti, which maybe he can do. But I don't know if I want... Yeah. If he doesn't click the Shiver Yeti, we're going to go like this. Losing the force field onto Doomed Wall. If he does somehow manage to click the Shiver Yeti, I need a backup plan. Which... I don't know. I mean, Feral Warden Pixie is fine. Say he does click the Shiver Yeti. I can lose Doomed Wall onto Feral Warden. Or Feral Warden onto Doomed Wall, depending on whether he manages to get together 2 Shiver Yetis for next turn. It's not, like, outstanding, but it's fine. I predict he's going to have a very hard time clicking that Shiver Yeti. And it doesn't even really do that much for him to click it. Right, where's he going to find 7 more defense? Can't build a Doomed Wall. You just can't get enough that way. I don't think you can build a wall either. Okay, I get a Breach for Exact this way. Seems pretty disastrous for him. I think he needs to defend with the Shiver Yeti, which means that my Doomed Wall will be getting a fair amount of value. Sure. Yep, you could do that. Hold back 5 drones. That works. That defends. Good job. It's hard to see you winning after that. Okay, hold back a feral. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. If you freeze the force field, I don't even get any absorb unless I do this. But yeah, the Doomed Wall's worth a lot of health. I basically don't even have to bother defending this turn if I keep the Doomed Wall up. I can just do this, right? Like, I have to defend a little bit, but not much. Like, let's say he attacks for... he's attacking for 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe he can attack for 8. I don't know. But if so, he's, like, holding back all his defenses. So I could, like, build 2 Shiver Yetis and a Pixie. This makes me... like, okay, is there any universe where both of these Shiver Yetis survive? I guess is a question worth asking. 6 attack for free. Absorb onto the Shiver Yeti is 7. Lose an Engineer is 8. So if he freezes the force field, and can attack with everything, I'll have to lose a Shiver Yeti. What if I do this? Now if he freezes the Shiver Yeti and can attack for everything, that's 4, 6, 7, 8. Block onto the other Shiver Yeti. No, sorry, 4. 4, 5, 6, 8. I would lose. If he attacks with everything, I can't keep all these Shiver Yetis. Unless I do this. And then he actually can't stop me from getting Shiver Yeti value, freezing his Doomed Wall. I think that that's worth a try. Right, he had to hold back a Feral Warden here, which is like... oh, interesting. Absorbing onto wall. Sure, I guess. You get less absorb and you have less health. But now it doesn't matter to me so much that I keep the Shiver Yetis both alive. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad I got my revenge and we went one win each. What happened here? I mean, it's a lot more comfortable for player 2 to be able to get Conduit and then Animus instead of Animus and then Conduit. I got much earlier access to blue. I didn't really use it for quite a while. I just produced Pixies, but that was fine. It was like... if you build a Blast Force just to build Pixies, it's pretty bad. But it retains the option value to later transition into building walls, which seems good to me. And I don't understand his Feral Warden plus Shiver Yeti this turn. Like, what? I just don't get it. He's trying to make it hard for me to defend, I guess. Stop me from producing more efficient attackers. But to do that, he had to build like inefficient units himself. I don't totally understand what this was about. Maybe trying to make me not able to build the Tesla coil. I don't think that that's a really great thing for me to build, but certainly he did stop me. Yeah, I was just able to build real attackers sooner and get Feral Wardens going, doing what they want to do, which is block right away and then attack. His Feral Wardens, like one of them attacked for a while and then blocked. He had to hold drones. I don't know. My turns all seem like... I have a few less drones than I would like for this much tech. But, like, Immolite Pixie, Nitrocide. There's like a ton of ways to spend your tech cheaply. I think it's fine to be over-teched here. Just to give me the option of like, do I want a red absorber, i.e. Feral Warden, or a blue absorber, i.e. like Wall? Having access to both is nice. And if he'd been able to get a second Shiver Yeti, my Doomed Wall might have looked kind of stupid. Oh, there was that turn where I got pretty badly exploited on defense. See here, I built a force field. And I didn't think about the fact that if he freezes the force field, yes, I'm still absorbing, but I've lost all my granularity, right? And the very next turn, that was a problem. Because I have to build like this, and when he freezes the force field, I'm, you know, defending 5 attack with Feral Warden Doomed Wall, which is not great. I could have maybe, like, held back a drone here or something. Would that have been a good idea? No, not really. It wouldn't have helped at all, in fact. Hold back 2 Immolites seems pretty bad. But the good news is we put on enough pressure that he couldn't build another Shiver Yeti to freeze the Doomed Wall. My 2 Shiver Yetis, I don't know. He was in a lot of trouble this turn. I think almost everything he did was would lose, but he found something that keeps him a little bit alive for a while. And it did make it a bit harder for me to like prepare defenses. I think I over-defended because it's not really realistic for him to attack with everything, but I was able to defend against that, so why not? So, like, I was noting if he wanted to, he could sort of have forced me to lose the Shiver Yeti unless I held back this drone. This way, I get to hold the Shiver Yetis, and now, like, I really am attacking for 7 plus 3 freeze, basically. And he has to assemble 7 defense out of 6 drones. Like, even this doesn't really... Well, this might defend, but it doesn't. It clearly doesn't win, because I can just hold back a ton of drones my next turn, in the worst case. Probably I can do something better. Actually, does this even... This doesn't even defend, right? Because I can breach him for a Feral Warden if I freeze the wall, or I can breach to kill the wall if I want. Freeze force field and drone, killing the wall and a Feral Warden. Yeah. Oh no, I'm losing a Nitrocide in this world, so I just breach for exact, but that's still good. 7 attack plus 3 freeze is 10. And I should be able to put together defense, but let's just try it and see. Oh, I see. It's trying to save the drone for me, which is not what I want. Although, is it actually? Hang on. If I'm freezing force field, then this Nitrocide is as good as the Shiver Yeti, right? Instead of freezing drone, just kill the dang drone, right? There we go, a breach for exact, and we just have to find 5 defense. We already have 2. Well, this is getting frozen perhaps, but... There you go, and like, build another MLA. Yeah, and he's just super toast. Okay, cool. So 1 for 1, not a terrible start to the ticket. And we're done with the episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.